Hello, my name is Disha.
And I'm Thanvi.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to present today. We are so excited to showcase our project. It is a tool designed to determine eligibility for the genetic screening of breast cancer, which can lead to early detection and intervention.
This project would not have been possible without our mentor, Dr. Mandeep Singh, who supported us throughout this entire process. And once again, thank you for giving us this amazing opportunity to present.
This slide has a little bit about me. I'm a ninth grader at the Harker School, and my main passions are science and technology, and what I aim to do is make an impact within the intersection of these two amazing fields.
My name is Thanvi, and I also am very interested in programming, but I seek to go into the field of medicine and make an impact there.
On this slide is our agenda for today. First, we will begin with the background and context for our project. This section will include information about BRCA mutations and a brief overview of our project. Next, we will focus on the design and development of our product. This covers the in-depth process of our logic and programming. The next section is results and impact. Finally, we will present a future roadmap that highlights our next steps.
1 in every 400 people have a BRCA mutation, putting them at greater risk of developing breast cancer, as well as passing the gene down to future generations. Women with harmful mutations in either BRCA1 or BRCA2 genes have a risk of breast cancer that is about 5 times the normal risk.
There is a simple blood or saliva test available to determine the existence of a BRCA mutation. Despite the existence of this test since 1996, implementation has been slow for several reasons. Guidelines are very clear on this subject and validated by the CDC and National Cancer Network, but they are complex, scattered, and sometimes redundant. Even though breast cancer incidence is on the rise all over the world and life-saving treatments are available, this test remains underutilized.
That is where our project comes in. We want to aid the process for patients and primary care physicians to check who is eligible for testing and most likely to benefit. Our project is a simple, intuitive, and intelligent web-based questionnaire powered by a sophisticated and dynamic algorithm that can be administered to patients directly. It asks a minimal amount of questions and lets the users know if they should take a genetic test to determine the existence of a BRCA mutation.
These are the 5 main steps that we use to make our questionnaire. First, we researched the current guidelines determining eligibility for genetic testing. We realized that the guidelines were extremely complex and redundant, so we decided to consolidate them.
We then organized them onto a flowchart in order to make the data more streamlined and comprehensive.
After that, we began to code our algorithm using JavaScript.
Then, we ran our questionnaire through a series of tests to validate its accuracy as well as functionality.
Then, we moved on to building a website for our application. This slide outlines our steps. First, we created a systematic flow of data. Taking the logic from our flowchart, we began creating a system through code. Our goal was to create a flexible model for our dynamic questions. Second, we started designing the wizard. This involved changing the question displayed correspondingly depending on the user input and translating our logic into an algorithm. Third, we built a website to host our algorithm and provide information regarding BRCA testing and mutations. It can be found at brcatest.org. This user-friendly website was created to host the questionnaire so that it can be accessed by patients around the world, and doctors can use it to screen patients who might need genetic testing.
One JavaScript object we used to store our data was an array. They were instrumental in our project since they let us store multiple values in a single variable, which helped us keep our code concise. We also utilized indexing as our method of organization. By giving each question an index, we were able to individually call them, making our code more streamlined and efficient. Within our arrays, we created a format for each section. It included the question, type of question, possible answers, and assigned index. Each component was utilized throughout our code.
Now we will focus on defining the wizard. The first step is to take data from the array. Our function determines the type of question and format. In this snapshot of code, you can see what happens if the question type allows multiple answers. An example of this type of question is the personal history question. The next step is using logic to update the question so it will change depending on the previous answer. To do this, we tapped into our indexing logic. Based on what answer a user chooses, the questionnaire takes them to the corresponding follow-up question. Using this system allowed for flexible code that was built upon an efficient model. Then, according to the user's answer, we took them to a different index value for their next question until they finally received their recommendation. This created a modular design that was both effective and accurate. Once we created the backbone of our questionnaire, we began enhancing the code.
After that comes embedding the newly displayed question onto our website. To enhance our application, we also programmed a back button. Using alerts, we were able to eliminate invalid responses from users. We embedded a restraint on our JavaScript code that alerted the browser when two contrasting options were selected. If patients entered a history of cancer, but also chose a contradicting option, our algorithm prevents the questionnaire from resuming until the response is corrected. This function helps make the questionnaire more logical and accurate, while still keeping the process concise. This snapshot of code displays what happens when a user selects both no cancer and a cancer. Now we will go into a step-by-step explanation of our website structure and design.
Here is a basic outline of our process. It includes gathering information, designing the site, programming it, testing it, and finally maintaining it. To do so, we continuously improve our website and make adjustments on a monthly basis. Now, we are going to give you a short demonstration of our questionnaire. The website can be reached at brcatest.org.
So as you can see here is our website. This is just the home page, and we have many discussions forums for patients to connect with us. And here's the button to take the questionnaire.
All right. So a 51-year-old Italian woman goes to her doctor for her physical. She has a personal history of second breast cancer, which was diagnosed and treated at the age of 46. She's worried about her risk for further cancers and also for her daughter, who is now 28 years old. First, we will go through this questionnaire for the mother. So she's female, and she is over 45. It says she's 51. And in the past, she's been diagnosed with breast cancer. She's Italian, so there's no Jewish ancestry. And the year of her breast cancer diagnosis was 48, so we'll select the middle option. There was no mention of a triple negative result, so no for that. And it was second breast cancer, so we'll click yes. And based on that, the recommendation is that you should take the brca test. Now let's take the questionnaire for her 28-year-old daughter. Now less than 45. And she has no history of cancer. However, she does have a blood relative, her mother, who has been diagnosed with cancer. And based on that, she is also recommended to take the brca test. Now let's do another scenario. A 35-year-old Chinese woman had melanoma at the age of 29. However, she has no family history of cancer. She is worried that she might be at risk given her personal history. Does she need any genetic testing? So again, female, less than 45. And she's been diagnosed with melanoma in the past. And then no family history of cancer. Again, no family history. And there is no mention of any brca mutations in the past. And based on that, the test is not necessary. Now, there is one final case scenario. A 50-year-old Indian male has no personal history of cancer, but has a family history of ovarian cancer. Will he benefit from brca testing? So here we're going to select male, not of Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry. No personal history of cancer. However, there is family history of ovarian. And given that, we recommend consulting your doctor and maybe meeting with a genetic counselor because the guidelines are vague in that particular scenario. All right. This questionnaire is accessible to patients and doctors all over the globe. Traditionally, people had to decipher these complex guidelines from various sources, which were difficult for even specialists to understand and try to use effectively. Now, thanks to this tool, it takes only a few minutes to get an accurate recommendation. In addition, it takes away the human error factor. This modular algorithm will not move forward unless the questions are answered, which eliminates the chances of forgetting a question or missing a piece of the medical history. In many developing countries, there is a lack of information and resources available about BRCA testing. By launching our questionnaire, we hope to create a powerful tool which can help both doctors and patients in areas with limited access to cancer specialists. In addition, our website provides a channel for information and forums of communication. Studies show that early intervention surgeries for patients found BRCA positive can improve survival rates by 20% or more. If our questionnaire is launched throughout the world, we can increase early intervention significantly. With this questionnaire, genetic testing for breast cancer can be made available to people who need it. It can help increase both awareness and application. If more eligible candidates get tested, it will lead to early detection and intervention, which can save countless lives.
Here is our future roadmap, which outlines our next steps. First, we want to make our website multilingual so it can be launched globally. Another goal is to connect with genetic counselors. So once users receive a recommendation, we want to help them determine their next steps and refer them to labs if needed. This facilitates a comprehensive experience where we can guide users through the process. Third, we will develop an app on iOS and Android to improve accessibility on mobile devices. Finally, we would like to expand our tool to cover other BRCA-associated cancers. This will increase the impact of our project and help us expand further.
Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to present. We really enjoyed sharing our work with you. We would request that you give us a critical review after testing out this website a little bit, and to that end, we will send a survey in a couple weeks with some questions about your experience. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity.